There we go.
Okay, guys, now we have 1 minute. 1 minute.
One minute.
I'm going to
One
start the
minute.
Facebook Live feed.
I don't even know
wow.
how. What?
Do you remember your stuff?
I got to try to remember it. I hope I wrote it down. Let's just do that because it's not my computer. So we're all good. It's good.
We're coming in hot.
Okay, let's do it.
There you go.
Hi, everybody. Where the guys at? Where the men at?
Hold on. She's doing her stuff.
Good evening, and welcome to the Poetry of Justice show with JackieRay Phillips on YikesRadio.com. Now, guys, let me tell you about Yikes Radio, the Poetry of Justice show. This is where social consciousness meets the arts. And what we do is we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity, ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying,
Yikes.
Everybody, those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. And as you know, Mr. Kevin Nash is the owner of this amazing proprietorship here at Accelerated Radio. And your girl, JackieRay Phillips, being dubbed the queen of YikesRadio.com here in the beautiful Inglewood, California, everybody. So thankful to Mr. Kevin Nash. And I'd like to give a very special shout out to my sister, a.k.a. the benefactor, Ms. Lori G. of Gingy Productions and Entertainment Company.
Hey, y'all.
How are you tonight, beautiful?
I am okay. We are back in studio. Look at us. I'm trying to make it happen.
Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited. I can't breathe, y'all. Listen at that shit. It sounds so good. And then I'd like to give a very other special shout out to our other sponsorship, ladies and gentlemen. That is WMPJ Steelworks. Shout out to the Man of Steel. And then, everybody, I got to give a very special shout out to G Babies Catering. Shout out to Macario Rosales because he just recently become an LLC, everybody.
Yes.
LLC, everybody. So he's doing his own thing and he's flying high and we having a good time in the studio tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to give a very special shout out to the ladies of the chat who are with us each and every third Saturday here on the Poetry of Justice show. That's Shelly C, Tanya Michelle, Lori G, JackieRay. And it's just what we do, everybody, because we're back in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 7 months since we've been on this mic, everybody, and it's time to shine. And I'm going to give you guys the best of what I got because tonight I got to just give one more thanks to APS Muscle Cars, ladies and gentlemen. APS Muscle Cars, he's hot, everybody. Memo, M-E-M-O, APS MuscleCars.com. And that is us. We are here, the Poetry of Justice show, JackieRay Phillips, Yikes Radio, and Celebrated Radio, in the studio, about to show out. Hello, Rashid, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing beautifully well. It's so good to see you in person. It's always a treat to see you in the Zoom room box.
Yeah.
There's nothing like face-to-face and eye-to-eye. So thank you so much for communing with us tonight.
No problem. Always good to be here. Always glad to be here.
I appreciate you. And Lori G, how are you tonight, my queen?
Well, you know, I'm trying to put to use my multitasking skills here.
All right.
Trying to get us set up in terms of our technology. But I'm super duper excited.
Super duper excited.
Super duper
excited. Well, Louie, let's let all that be focused. We've got an amazing night tonight, and once I turn this over to the king, to the star of our show tonight, And we never gonna get this train back, so, cause it's phenomenal. Look at him over there smiling over there.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna make it happen, ladies and gentlemen, because this gentleman beyond deserves it. It's great, so, but Lori G, tonight,
Yes.
you,
Yeah.
X Radio, Accelerated Radio, tell us what it's like for you being back in the stew.
It is exhilarating.
Yeah.
It is. It's exciting to be back. The lights and the mic and running around, and I always get that anxiety before we actually go live. So that's exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna say, before I start, and I'm gonna ask the Lord to let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing unto the will of God for our lives tonight. Because the gentleman who is with us tonight is nothing short of a miracle. There's many words that have come to mind, and I only had an opportunity to read one of the briefs associated with this phenomenal story, and it's going to be multi-dimensional on so many levels. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome and introduce to some and just continue to be blessed by him to others, none other than the Mr. Jimmy Dennis. How are you tonight, Jimmy? I'm blessed.
I'm doing good. How are you?
What I was thinking about doing is just saying, you know what, because Jimmy, life is what it is, and you know that, and I have a plethora of information. If you kind of take a look here, I have the briefing, and this is Dennis versus Wetzel. I have about 7 pages worth of notes based on pre-interviews, and so there is a plethora. So I know, and I was explaining to my sister, she's been really, really busy at work this week, and she had an opportunity to take some of the views, but what I promised her was that she would have an opportunity to give first dibs of private time with you, because I've been blessed to speak with you privately, pre-interview style. But is it all right with you if you can just share a little bit of time with Lori G, the executive producer, right now? Awesome sauce. All right, Lori G.
Hey, Jimmy. I'm doing good. You're looking great. That beautiful smile. That's one thing that, you know, you are such a celebrity here. I Googled you and like 500 different things came up. And I'm like, look at that. Every time you got that immaculate smile that's going on.
That's right.
Exactly. So I've got so many questions for you that are comprehensive, but I think what we want to do maybe before we kind of jump right into those in-depth kind of questions is to give our listeners an overview of your story. I mean, I was so moved by your story, and don't leave out the music part, because I was like Googling for your group Sensation to see if there was anything on there that I could pull up, because you talk so passionately about this group and where you guys were in your progression, and then all hell broke loose. So if you could start with a little bit and let our listeners know about your love for music, where that came from, and then your incredible story.
Amen. Thank you. Wow.
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 Yeah, because of project.
The gas.
Yeah, I get that.
I just wanted to ask you a question too. I'm gonna jump in. We're just gonna get in and just do it and get dirty. The date. I have a date that I have a couple of dates that I want to throw out to you, but October 1992. What does October 1992 mean to you when you hear that right now against the member? I don't know. That was just, it's so much that stands out to me. Lori, can you imagine 25 and a half years of your life being stolen away from you? And I came up with the word kidnapping, but maybe that wasn't necessarily a proper word, Jimmy, after I began to read through some of the court documentation. But in specific, ladies and gentlemen, there is something that I behoove all of you to do, and just to do some research, because we talk about phenomenal stories that get airtime, and like the Khalif Browder story. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Jimmy Dennis story. This story has been told to some very important individuals, and I'm very grateful and blessed at the Poetry of Justice show to be able to be one of those top-notch individuals that's blessed to have this exclusive time with you. I want to know if everybody could just, when you take your time, there's something that is called August 21, 2013, a civil action, the United States District Court of Pennsylvania, Dennis versus Wetzel. And reading this information has revolutionized my passion for criminal justice and why I do what it is that I so love to do, and the opportunity to be able to do what we do here in the Poetry of Justice show. These stories are so very tender and so very real and precious. But what I want to know specifically, Jimmy, is the psychological effects, being such a young person, 21 years old, being halted in and stolen away and kidnapped for something that you weren't even there. How did that take you at that time? Can you recall some of that for us? Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. I did. Hmm. Mm. Hmm. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Mm. Right.
Great. Jimmy, you know, I hate to interrupt you, but I know we may have some listeners that are not familiar with what you were wrongfully accused of and why both the inmates and the guards and everyone was against you because of the type of crime. Do you mind sharing with our listeners what the accusations were against you? Mhm. Mhm. Right, right, right. Mhm. That is insane.
Yes, Lord, I don't know if you had an opportunity, but I know you had the YouTube viewing of it, but I had an opportunity to read more in depth of the case, but this guy, I mean, the prosecution, it was just a real word. I come up with the word like a witch hunt, if you will.
I
You
do,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because it's like I hear like a lot of hateration. I hear just, I don't know, because as you remember, Jimmy, we spoke in pre-interviews that and I don't know if I did share this, but I have a degree in criminal justice. Criminal justice is my passion, and as a part of that passion, I tend to indulge and still in like ID discovery shows and forensic files and cold case kind of things. It drives part of me, but that's why I think I feel like was a witch hunt. You know what I'm saying? What I hear and what I'm reading, I hear like, okay, there was some haters up in the cut. The cops had what they was gonna do, what they was gonna do. They put it on you, and they was just determined to do it no matter what. Because we have the whole situation. Golly, Miss Kaysen is her name. Golly, let me make sure I get it right. Right. So when Miss Kaysen comes up and she talks about specifically her time and when she picked up her, her subsistence check, that time frame versus when she saw you on the K bus. You see what I'm saying? That 2:15 to 2:30 window, her picking up her check at about 1:50 p.m. All of that clearly creates a timeline. Not even for the use the word alibi. It's just the freaking truth of where you were at that time in your journey back to where you were going. So my point of the matter is, all of that information, Lori, was just not ever presented. The prosecution just pretty much just stuck that down. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And I see you about to scream. So
Well,
go
I
ahead.
have a name. I have a name, and I'm going to say this name, Jimmy. I hope you forgive me for saying it, but I want to see your reaction. Frank Rizzo.
Factual background. On October 22nd, 1991, two high school students, Shadell Williams and Zara Howard, were walking up the steps of Philadelphia Fern Rock SCPTA station when two men approached them yelling, "Give me your fucking earrings!" The girls fled down the steps. Howard hid behind a nearby fruit stand, while Williams ran into the street. The two men pursued Williams. One of them held a gun to her neck and shot her. The men then fled up the street, where they jumped into a car and sped away. Witnesses said there must have been a third participant who drove the vehicle. Given how fast the perpetrators left the scene, emergency services arrived within minutes, but Williams was pronounced dead at the hospital shortly after the shooting. Her earrings were missing, but her necklace and ring were untouched. Dennis's conviction was based solely on shaky eyewitness identification, because I know you have something to say, Lori, from three witnesses. The testimony of another man who said he saw Dennis with a gun the night of the murder, and a description of clothing seized from the house of Dennis's father that the police subsequently lost before police photographed or cataloged it. In short, Dennis's prosecution was based on a scant evidence at best. In the process, the Commonwealth covered up evidence that pointed away from Dennis. It ignored Dennis's own explanation for where he was at the time of the murder, taking a bus from his father's house to the Abbotsford Homes project. It allowed a witness who saw Dennis on that bus to give incorrect testimony about what time the interaction occurred. Police never recovered a weapon, never found the car that witnesses described, and never found the two accomplices. Despite Dennis's lack of significant history, the Commonwealth charged him with capital crime. There was virtually no physical evidence presented at the trial. Dennis was convicted almost entirely through eyewitness identification. Although the crime was committed by at least two people, Dennis was the only person ever arrested or convicted of the crime. So that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
What do you remember? Who?
I, am reminded of our cousin, Ronnie Bonnet,
Yeah.
which, it's really, it's the same eyewitness testimony type of thing. You know, Jimmy, I was struck by your YouTube, one of your YouTube videos that talked about, did you say there were 9 witnesses, but many of them were not allowed to speak because they corroborated or collaborated your story, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. 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 Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Jesus. That's wonderful. Kim, Miss Chris Fisher, how are you tonight, Queen? Of course. Miss Chris Fisher, Jimmy, Chris Fisher is the Lori, my sister's, Lori G's sister-in-law. Chris Fisher had roles with the show, and I know. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Hmm. Right, right. But Chris, we talking about 25 and a half years of this king's life was stolen away. What does that say to you, sis? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amen.
Jimmy, I want you to share with our listeners. I can't even imagine. Like you said, you were sitting in that courtroom,
Mm-mm.
and the verdict comes
Mm-mm.
back, and you're like, I didn't do this. What is this? And your mom
Hmm.
is really upset. But some people, I think, would completely crumble. You decided right away to fight for your freedom. Can you share with our listeners the first thing you did and the campaign you started. And yeah, that was so inspirational.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
You didn't need a pen pal. Right.
Oh. There now.
I know.
Wow. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was inspired in your video. You said you wrote 50 letters a day, every day.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Wow, that's amazing. There you go.
Jesus. Right.
Right. Yes, you definitely were on a mission. Now, Jimmy, I just been talking so much. I'm gonna ask one more question. I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit.
No.
Now, on this one, you may or may not want to answer, and I understand if you don't. I know you got some things going on, and you're limited and protected on what you can say. But in watching the video, the interviewer said that you were found innocent, but it took like 3 years for them to release you. Is that even lawful?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
There you go. Mm.
Right.
Wow. Mm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, Jimmy. What do they say? God said for
Amen.
such a time as this.
That's
Absolutely.
insane.
Yes, and I'm actually.
Okay, what's up, Big Tap?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mm. Amen.
As far as the criminal, as far as what you guys are talking about, what you dealt with, it's like I'm gonna leave that to experts, Jackie and Lori, because they have,
when y'all not
you know,
talking,
that
yeah,
experience. Jackie has a degree, and I'm not too savvy with what's going. You know, shoot, I get panic attacks in my bedroom. You know, I can't imagine in jail. So, but I want to just kick it off when we discuss the other parts of their life and answer the question that Christian said about, and she said she don't know what you do that you've done afterwards. Right. But I'm blessed to know what you have done afterwards. And we are going to reveal that to all our listeners and whatnot. But you know, my man, this has been inspiring. You know, I can't believe you had me engraved this whole time. I really know Jackie and Lori. I was just so engraved into the conversation. It was so beautiful that, you know, I forgot I was even part of the show myself.
Well, that's a good thing, Tap. That's a good thing.
As delve into the music part of it, I would like to have a say in that.
There we go. Absolutely.
Did you want to go into
Well,
some
let's
music?
make that transition. But I'm going to reserve a few more questions for later. How about that, right? And they're just more societal and community-based questions. We just like on the PLJ show to kind of pick your brain and see what you're thinking. But you know, Big Tap, Jimmy, you know how he can be. He like, okay, y'all been talking about that stuff too much. It's my turn to take the forefront. And we love him. We gonna get there. So why don't you tell us about your music? I mean, you got out, you came home. I just have to say, there was a clip that showed you getting into the van when you were going home. And my goodness, you had not $1 million, but $1 trillion smile on your face. And that's beautiful. And I just want to say, hey, I'm so glad you made it home. So you made it home, and what did you jump into, Jimmy? Tell us about what's going on now.
To that, Jim, before you go into what was your mind frame like when you was inside? What was your mind frame? Where was the music at? Was it in the background? Or where did you have the story? Because it was in you,
I've seen that so many times, especially out
in
here
your
in
soul.
California,
But
especially
how did you deal with that? Where did you store that at
that
while you
had
was
tainted
inside?
evidence against them, and they
So,
were locked up.
For me,
And it took so
music
many
was in
years
the
for them to get a
forefront of my
retrial,
mind,
for them
right?
to actually
I
prove
never
their innocence
lost
all
hope
over
faith
again.
that I was
Based
gonna
on
come
the
home,
evidence.
number one. Number
Based on the
two,
real evidence, not
I
tainted
knew that
evidence.
when I came home, what the goal was to make music. So the entire time I'm in prison, keep in mind that prison, it never sleeps. It's always chaotic. It's always a ruckus going on death row, right? It's always noisy. But I wrote over 700 songs when I was in prison. No matter what was going on around me, I blocked it all out because I knew what I was coming home to do, period. And I was writing songs for myself. I was writing songs for other people. Like I would hear artists and this would be good for them, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so music was ever present in my mind. And just so you can know, from the moment I was stolen away, I had these songs, literally these beautiful songs by artists play in my head. And you need to know what they are because it tells you a story about what I was going through, but it tells you my resilience and how I knew that I was going to make it out. So from the moment I was stolen away and I was in that box in the county, I heard the whinings, trusting God, in my head.
Amen.
Then it was John Coltrane, Dear Lord. Then it went to Christopher Cross, Selling, right? Then it went to Bruce Springsteen, Glory Days, Stevie Wonder, If It's Magic, Why Does It Hurt So Bad, right? And then it went to Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop. And then after those songs played in my head, right? Because I had no music in prison, understand? No music, right? I started my day. I prayed. I started working on the Justice for Jimmy campaign, and I started working on law. That was every single day. And if you listen to them songs, if all your listeners and you listen to them songs at night, you're gonna get it.
Okay.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get exactly where I was in my mind and how I overcame everything that I went through in there with faith and determination.
I have a question for you, Jimmy, and this is, can you explain to our listeners and reiterate what it was like on death row and on those Sundays on death row? I think that's really important for people to understand, again, another deeper level of the essence of you.
Every single day on death row is excruciating. Being on death row is like somebody having a gun to your head playing Russian roulette. That's what being on death row is. In prison is a day-to-day assault on the human soul, number one. So every single day was excruciating, right? And from Monday to Friday, all your movements are checked. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, shower for 10 minutes. You get 3 phone calls a month at that time, and the phone calls were for 10 minutes. We had to fight to just get an extra 5 minutes. And then, you know, when you do get the extra 15-minute phone call, you have to ask yourself, how can you talk to your mother and your father that's sick, right? And then talk to your young daughters that are growing up without you. Because I had a 3.5-year-old daughter. I had my youngest daughter was born 1 week after I was stolen away. So trying to be a parent from death row, trying to be a son and check on my parents that they were gravely ill, and just trying to make it through. And you gotta remember, different guards. You got racist guards, you got prejudiced guards on the block. You can look out the door and understand what day is going to be just by what guard is doing. And 99.99% of the guards is nuts.
Right.
They're ridiculous. They real corny, right? But then you got the prisoners that are going through their mental illness, right? Some prisoners got multiple personalities, you know? And I've seen men literally go crazy, kill themselves in prison. The most horrible thing is seeing a black bag come through the block because somebody done killed themselves, or you hear somebody that was sane 1 week and now they snapping, kicking the door because they can't take it no more. So every single day you had to fight and hold on to your sanity. Every single day you had to watch everybody around you because it's a jungle. Them doors can pop open at any time. When you go to the yard, anything can jump off. When you go to shower, anything can jump off with guards or prison. So prison ain't prison is exactly what you think it is. It's an animal. It's an animal. That's what prison is. It's an animal and it's a real jungle in there. And to survive it, you have to be strong-willed and you have to have the mental fortitude to get through it all. And that's just an honest answer.
I have a, Jimmy, we are doing multiple streams here, God bless us. We are on YouTube live stream, we are also on Facebook live stream, and we're also doing IGTV. I have a gentleman, Mr. Goldie Lokestar, who is enamored by your story here in Instagram, and he wanted to know what death row, where were you? Where were you located? What specific?
SEI Green, Pennsylvania, the same prison that Michelle Alexander talks about in her book, The New Jim Crow. If you read that book, she tells you very clearly that was a deserted town and township when they put that prison up there. And it became a bustling community. So I was on SEI Green Death Row. I also done a stint on Greater Ford Death Row in Pennsylvania. Also done a stint at Huntington Death Row. But the majority of my time was spent at SEI Green Death Row. I also did a small stint at Camp Hill Death Row. So it was Camp Hill first, Greater Ford first, Camp Hill, then Huntington, then SEI Green. And SEI Green is one of the worst prisons in the state. The ambulance, there are 2 ambulances that sit outside the jail because they go down like that every single day.
Damn.
That's,
Lord, what do you have to say?
I'm speechless.
You say, now, when you say their mindset, you make the comment that whole event is excruciating on your soul. When I think of that, and I think about soul, because we all have a soul, but that's not who we are, because your soul is your emotion. So when you said the mindset of everybody in there, that's how, to me, that's how that they're getting attacked, and that's how you make it through it. You didn't let your soul overtake you. You didn't let your emotions of what was happening take over you, where, you know, that shirt you got on just keeps getting in my way. You never give up. You know, you never gave up. Your mindset was, oh, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do what I have to do. And so that was the dream. That was the spirit in you that, you know, you let that prevail more than your soul, your emotional, your, you know, your hearing, seeing, smelling, what's going on around you, you know. So I really, you know, I just thank God. I gotta give praise to God, because that's the only way that you are talking how you made it through. You know,
Indeed.
faith, you know?
Indeed, faith. Yeah, I used to sit, when I'd be working on the Justice for Jimmy campaign, working on legal work, I would call my lawyers and we would talk about days to come. I never called home to my mother, to my daughters, or anybody and complained about anything ever, right?
Right.
I always believed that my day of truth was gonna come out. Now, that's not to tell you or anybody in your audience that I didn't have my moments, because I had plenty of moments where I wanted to check up out of here on some real stuff, like, yo, like this is a bit much. And those were some real moments, but I fought through them, right? To be able to talk to you right now. And on the weekends were the worst in prison, because getting a visit is like hitting the lottery, because literally SEI Green sits like 7 to 8 hours outside of Philadelphia, right? So to get there front and back is like 14 to 16 hours, right? And your family got to pay, you know, to get up there, you know, on a bus or plane, and it's a mess, right? But I would sit and visualize every single thing that I'm doing there. I would sit and believed that I was gonna talk to all my childhood friends. I would sit and talk, sit and visualize that I was gonna go see my mother and take care of my mother like I'm doing now. Take her water, go interact with my sister and my brothers and go
There you
interact.
go. Yes.
You know what I mean? Every single moment, I can honestly tell you, every single moment that I done lived since I've been home for the last 3.5 years, I told one of my closest childhood friends that, and we were talking on the phone. I said, listen, dog, I said, one of the things that got me through, because I would have conversations with you, dog. Like, yo, where we going tonight? What we doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And this was a real thing for me because I knew that these days were coming.
Right.
The one thing you can't do, even with this pandemic, right? You can't give up, you can't give in. So what do I mean by that, right? We got to wear our masks, we got to social distance, we got to take that black seed oil, that black elderberry, we got to get our health right, we got to get on it, work out a little bit, you know what I mean? We got the social distance. So if you in your living room, you know what I mean, turn on Whitney Houston, turn on Jay-Z or Beyonce or whoever you listening to,
There
turn
you
on
go.
Jimmy Dennis and make
Turn
it
on Jimmy
party.
Dennis.
Yes. There you go.
Our ancestors had that same faith. Who are we, right, to give in and to give up?
But Jimmy, I have a question for you. In watching your story, it seemed that you started your love for music or singing really early at the age of 10 with gospel, right? Were you a very religious person? Did that groundwork in gospel, did you reach back and use that as strength and power to stay so focused while you were away?
But singing in the youth mass choir, the first thing I was doing was I was playing the drums for the Sunshine Band and stuff like that, and then I got into the youth mass choir and I was singing on various choirs in elementary school and high school and stuff like that. But my childhood friend really got me singing Shannon Wright. This my guy. Me and him still chop it up to this day. But he the one that really got me singing, because he knew I could sing. I would just sing around him and another one of my childhood friends named Dunk. And they knew, so Shannon entered me in the competition. But my faith was always strong because I grew up in church. My dad was a organist and piano player for various churches, and I do come from a very religious background. But I've always had faith and belief in God. You know what I mean? I believe in the Creator wholeheartedly to this day, and that's a part of what pulled me through is my faith in the Creator and my faith in understanding that, I could get through this trying time with belief and knowing that the truth was going to come out. So it played a huge role with me in my journey, yes.
What I hear is,
When you went in, feeling in, civilization, life was a certain way when you went in. When you came out, it was different. How did you feel when you came out? Were you proud of the way our people, black people, were acting? And then we'll get into the protests and stuff later. But when you came out of jail 3.5 years ago, times have changed, technology changed, everything changed. Did you feel accepted, or did you feel like you can manage and adapt? Or I know you were going to do it anyway, but did you feel it was hard? Were you proud? Were you happy about the changes, or were you skeptical? How did you feel, brother?
So I'm always proud of our people, period. That's first and foremost. There's so many different entertainers and artists that I would get Billboard magazine the entire time I was in prison, and I would read it cover to cover, and I root for everybody. You know what I mean? I literally root for everybody. So everybody that ascended to greatness and did great things, I I was happy for them. I also was happy when I came home that all of my childhood friends are doing good. They are working, they're living their lives, and they're doing good. And I'm proud of each and every one of them, and I tell them this all the time. So when I came home and different people had businesses or different people had been on the job for 20 years, whatever, I celebrate them to this day, and I let them know how proud I am of them. So the technology for me took a lot of getting used to. You know, me and you was talking the other night, and I was trying to send you your music, right? So that took me a little while to get used to the technology of it. The one thing I will say that is disappointing about the internet at large, right, is this right here. Nowadays, everybody is on the internet, and that's a good thing. But perception should never be reality, right? And a lot of lies are filtered out there about people and to people, right? And then it's a thing where anybody can sit behind a computer or a telephone and just be cruel, right? So that was like new to me, like coming home and seeing a lot of things that I've seen, but it is what it is for the most part, and I done got used to it, right? Encourage people, you know, men and women, you know, from all over the country, all over the world, to run after their dreams, chase their dreams with reckless abandonment, no matter what it is, right? That's what I try to do, put positivity into the world, you know, and not be on, you know, no nutty buddy stuff like I be seeing out there. That's about it.
Yeah, because we definitely live in that day and age of internet keyboard warriors, you know, those that will, you know, just straight up run their mouth, behind a screen, but then when it comes to actually, you know, backing up what they're saying out in the real world, they're not exactly up to that task.
That's true. That's Rashid. That's our engineer. You can't see him. He's off camera. Yeah.
You can't do that in Philly. I don't know nowhere you can really do that at. So, I mean, it is what it is. But that's sad to see, though, right? But I just be trying to encourage people, and especially with us, right? We need to lift each other up. We need to lift our black queens and kings up at all times. Lift our children up. You know what I mean? So we all can have a grand rising, you know, and reach our full potential. Period.
You know what? And something else you're about that we got to transition to is your music. Oh my gosh. I think we need to listen to Skin I'm In, you guys. This is amazing. Yes. Are we gonna play that
Ladies
one?
and gentlemen, the Poetry of Justice Show with JackieRay Phillips on YaksRadio.com and AcceleratorRadio.net. Ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than Mr. Jimmy Dennis in the house, and this is the part that I stated: a musical genius coming. Skin on me. Let's do it.
I'm one of the people who built the country.
Get this refocused.
Until this moment, there is scarcely any hope for the American dream. Because the people who are denied participation in it, by their very presence, will reign.
There we go.
I love this shit. It's so good.
There we go. Gotta refocus.
You wish to stay in a pro-magnon state. Change the sound of your privilege. You feel
skin. My beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black skin. Yes, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black skin. Yes, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black skin. Yes, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black skin.
You know what?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
We're
Jimmy.
back, bitches.
And the Grammy goes too, right?
Oh my God.
All right, my goodness. Oh,
Get your boogie on.
there you go. Hey,
I'm ready
talk
pop
to
lock
me
up in
about
here.
this one, Jimmy. Where did this come from?
So, seeing everything going on in the country, and I just, couldn't sit back and, not speak upon it. Nina Simone said artists should reflect the times that they in.
Yes.
So, I did just that. So, I couldn't stand what happened to Elijah McClain out in Denver. I couldn't stand what happened to Breonna Taylor, Sean Bell, Tamir Rice, and what continues to go on in the black community with police brutality, all the time with black and Latino people. And, you know, if we're not being killed in the streets in California to DC to Philly to New York to Minneapolis to Kentucky, we're being wrongfully incarcerated. So that's where Hate the Skin I'm in came from. Your listeners and your audience can find it on all musical platforms. You can go to SoundCloud and listen to it. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. It's everywhere, you know what I mean? Y'all go check that out. But that's where the song came from. I just wanted to write something to let them know that we see how y'all feel about us, but this is what you can't do. You can't break us. You can't stop who we are. We're gonna keep being a beautiful race of people. We a mighty, mighty resilient race of people. And no matter what y'all do to us, y'all not gonna stop nothing. Period. Ever.
Chris Fisher, you about to jump out your skin, sis. Talk to us. But how you feeling? How you feeling right now, sis? Go ahead, Miss Chris Fisher. How you feeling tonight?
I'm a singer, so music, you know, that's something I've been around forever. That song really is catchy, and I understand. I understand, but I didn't understand until you just said about the time doing this. Right now, I've been writing, and I've been writing more about what's happening now. So it's like, you know, okay, I'm not a gospel singer, but I have sung gospel. I like all genres of music, but it's like, you know, Lord, what do you want me to sing? Where do I go? And one thing I heard Pastor Creflo Dollar one time say is, you so kind of do music with God, and what happened to just doing good music?
Good
You know, when you said that, I thought about Marvin Gaye. What's the song? I thought about that. You know, and I thought about the song that really was for that time, was really great.
Right.
You know, so thank you for that. That just sparked some music.
As you can see, we had a dance party
I
going on up in
know.
here.
Hey.
It is true.
Big Tab, what did you say the other night when we got off the phone? When you said, remember you were speaking about his talents, and whom did you state he reminded you of? Which great of Motown? I know we named a couple, but do you remember?
Well, after we played that second song, people will understand why I said this. But at first I told him, I said he's a mix between Maxwell and Smokey. And he said, thank you, brother. You know, he was polite about it. He was happy about it. But then he took me to another level and said, you know, he see himself more like a Curtis Mayfield. And when he said that, and I knew he got on that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's a you know, I've been in the business, Jackie, you know, for 30 years. He's a multi-talented brother. I just can't believe. I wanted to get into the segment where, you know, just how did he just come out and just splash on like that? I don't, that's something people can't even do when they're home for 25 years.
Right.
They're gonna come out, try to try to get all that inside, all that resentment and everything out, and then come out with all that positivity and greatness.
Ah. Amen.
He's a beast. You're a beast, Jim.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
You're a
Thank you,
beast.
man. Thank you.
We have another piece. You got the other piece, but you want to show you what you want to do.
Yeah, so, let's go on and jam to one more that Jimmy sent us. It's, You Done Went and Did It.
Boom.
You know when did it, yeah.
Oh, You Done Went and Did It. Here we go.
What you done did?
There's nothing in the world like a beautiful, strong woman.
Here we go.
Again, I'll keep saying that. That sound like Mickey Mouse.
compose yourself?
All I have to say is the award for Best New Artist goes to
JackieRay.com. The exclusive interview.
That is-
Poetry of Justice. You, are you good, Chris? You gonna throw your panties on the stage, Chris? You remember that?
Woohoo! That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. My
So
God.
tell us the history behind this song.
this is my ode to, you know, this is my love affair with beautiful black women. You know what I mean? You know, that hold it down, you know, the single mother that hold it down. You know, the woman that hold it down for a family, and you know, the woman that love up on a man, and you know what I mean? She a beast in every aspect of life. You know what I mean? Just for every woman, you know, on the earth, you know, that's holding it down, doing their thing.
Right.
That's why I wrote the song. You know what I mean? There's nothing like seeing, you know, a black queen in all her glory. You know what I mean? Especially in the summertime. You know,
Summertime.
You know what I'm thinking about the Fatback Band when he says winter time is gone and summer's almost here. Time to get rid of all the overcoats and let the girls go free. I like the girl.
You know what I mean? You know, hair done, nails did, you know what I mean? Feet did, summer dress, you know, or just in a business suit or whatever she got on, just, you know what I mean, walking, you know what I mean? All royalty regal. So that was my love song, you know, to all women everywhere.
I love
You, and you the shit.
All right, now. You know, I like you, Jimmy. You
Right,
gotta come
right.
more often to the show.
my beautiful black skin.
That is beautiful. So I'm interested, Jimmy.
Jimmy Dennis, everybody.
Sit. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna tell Jimmy that he might be familiar with the song. That song reminds me of a song by an artist that you like, Stevie Wonder. And it has a similar title to it. It's called "You Got It Bad."
He's a musical god to me, so, you know what I mean?
Oh, you
yeah,
get it.
I know that song.
You got it bad. You know I know you, boy. I'm starting. You know what? I'm right here with you.
See you.
I'm right here with you.
That's my man. That's my, listen, right? Listen, that's my man. Listen, one of my favorite albums of all time. My favorite song for Kid Life.
Excellent
Which
album.
one's yours?
Songs in the Key Life.
Complete game changer. Stevie got about 5-6 albums that are complete classic. There ain't nobody coming nowhere close to period point blank. Check all day, all night. That's my guy. Love it.
Amen. We love it, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, we definitely love Mr. Stevie Wonder here at YikesRadio.com and AccelerateRadio.net. Shout out again to my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. Thank you again, Mr. Jimmy Dennis, for being with us tonight. Are you having a good time? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm having a wonderful time. I'm enjoying it.
Yay!
All right.
Lloyd, did you have any questions? Go ahead, Gerald.
It's because we in the studio, but this show got a different type of vibe, different atmosphere. It's like, this is a good show, Jim, man. It's like, it got me like more focused. I think it's Lori. You know what? I know you a star because you made Lori and Jackie completely forget about me. But it's okay.
You so spoiled, Gerald. You know we love you, teddy bear.
He is so spoiled.
He's
My
such a
goodness.
brat, I swear to God.
Oh my god. Oh my
Yo, man, this is a great show, brother. This is a great show.
So
Thank-
Jimmy, I'm interested in, and Tap, you can jump in on this. So what are the next steps? You know, we spent time talking about what you lost. Brother, you are making music that, oh my gosh, makes
Changing
my
the world.
heart melt. So
Changing
what are we looking forward to? What are your next steps? Where are you going?
I got a new single coming out in November. November 23rd. I got a new single coming out. So y'all gonna be looking for that at the top of the year. At the top of the year, I'm gonna put out music. And in May, I'm going to drop my first album ever in May. We looking at May to drop the first album.
Whoa.
All right.
23rd, we got a new single coming out, and I think everybody will gravitate towards. You know, and at the top of the year, we got more new music. Around Valentine's Day, I'm gonna hit y'all with 3 songs.
Can't wait for that. Definitely can't wait for that.
3 songs, you know what I mean, for the lovers around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
All right.
Done. They already in the can, so I'm gonna hit y'all with 3 new songs the week before Valentine's Day. But up first, November 23rd, and I'm putting it out on November 23rd because that's the day that I was stolen away. So I'm reclaiming that date back. So that's why the single was coming out on November 23rd.
Right. And I'm assuming you tell us where we can get this music on November 23rd, Jimmy. Let us know again.
November 23rd, you'll be able to get all the music, all my music on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, SoundCloud, everywhere. Anywhere that they sell music, any platform that y'all listen to music, YouTube, everywhere, I'm there. I'm right there right now. So the 2 songs that y'all heard tonight, Hate the Skin I'm In, is on every musical platform, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud. Y'all can go to SoundCloud right now and listen to Hate the Skin I'm In featuring Wayne Jackson, produced by Michael Boykins, and music by me and Daryl Piano Man Marsh. Y'all can listen to all y'all went and did it on SoundCloud and on YouTube and Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, everywhere. I'm there. Google Play, Amazon Music, I'm everywhere.
I tell you, I'm there.
Just shot a, you know, a song with you, one of them productions, brother. 'Cause I got some team, you know what I mean? I want to get my name on the rock too, baby. You know?
Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible.
Y'all remember from Hustle and Flow, and he says, everybody gotta have a dream. You know?
That is so true. That's true.
We just having a funky good time. I know
great.
I am.
Ever need, you know, help with some female vocals, I like to lend my voice. Cause I have a sound that's very unique. And
That's what I'm talking about.
Now go for yours. Shit. You
Yeah,
go.
I might need you to, you know, even some background or some
And we gonna
type
politics.
of, you know what I'm saying? Yes,
We gonna
exactly.
politics,
I,
right?
you know,
We gonna politics. We gonna politics.
See what I'm saying?
Look at the POJ show.
Movers and
Just
shakers,
hooking
baby.
people up, making connections
Making
here.
it happen.
Oh my goodness.
Boom, boom, shaka laka.
There we go, connecting.
Black Hollywood people, I love it.
Brother to be on here, and for us to link up like this, if it wasn't for a sister that 20 years ago I was blessed to manage, Gwen Jackson. I love her, and that's my baby girl, and she introduced me to the incomparable Jimmy Dennis, and oh man, the future is looking bright, boy.
And just let Gwen is my sister, but Gwen is also the COO of St. Hood Records. And she's also the COO of my production company, Keys of My Heart Production. And I got nothing but beautiful women behind me. And she's the force behind me. From the moment I was in prison, just to tell you about Gwen, Gwen was making sure that all my music was copywritten when I was in prison from 1998 until I got out.
Wow.
That's the role that my childhood friend played, and when I came home, she immediately took me in the studio, you know what I mean, to get work, you know what I mean, so, Gwen is the magic behind me, along with many other, beautiful women in my life, and I just want to say thank you to everybody, on my team, so thank you.
Amen. Thank you. We're gonna have to get Miss Queen and you back on the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you know, this is a family affair. You can't just come once, you know what I'm saying? The first time, you know.
All right.
Because we be having different topics, and then I need some exciting individuals to kind of come and weigh in on those. So I'll save that for our executive producer, all those different amazing topics. But I'm really, really honored and really, really blessed. Chicks, we're doing the damn thing. Any other things specifically, Jimmy, that you want our listeners and your fans to know or just discuss before, we get ready to wrap up with the wrap up? I've got some little current event stuff that we may want to chat about, voting and things like that regard. But I know we've given all the handles and where everyone can get to you, but the essence of Jimmy Dennis today.
I'm just an R&B singer, songwriter, producer, and just trying to make good music to move everybody's soul in the country and around the world. I'm an activist. I advocate for other innocent people. Right now, I'm advocating for Ralph Stokes, innocent man on death row, S.E.I. Green. I'm advocating for another black man that's innocent by the name of Abdul Hardy. Advocating for Anthony Reed, another innocent man. So these are the people that I'm advocating for. Y'all can look these brothers up. They're in the Pennsylvania prison system. Y'all can write them and get involved in their case. And anybody want to follow me, they can follow me at Jimmy Dennis Music on Instagram and Facebook, Jimmy Dennis Music Group. And I'm just going to try to keep making great music and music to move your soul. And I'm going to keep advocating for innocent people, trying to bring innocent people home.
Yes.
And that's who Jimmy Dennis is. I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a son, and I just want to make good music to move your soul. That's who I am.
You are on your way. 'Cause those two songs are incredible.
Well, you've done that.
How was the masses gonna perceive you? Like, and you told me that, do I know Kim? Do I know this person? Do I know that person? They gonna deceive. Tell me what you told me, dog. I want you to tell the audience. That was deep. But that was confidence. You was cocky on it, but I like it.
I just said that, if you trying to define me, you really can't. You know what I mean? Because of where I'm taking my music, I have a different sound. If you really listen to the sound of my music, is a different sound. So, when you hear that bass thumping, the reason why that bass thumping, and you hear the string element in my music, it's a total different sound right now. Mixed with R&B, soul, hip hop, a little street. And that thump that you hear come from my childhood friends when they be banging. How we used to ride in the 80s, with the car rattling. One of my friends, two of my friends had their cars rattling all the time we be riding. But, I'm trying to give y'all good music the same way Kim, Anthony Hamilton, Jaheim, and all them cats
That's what I'm
do.
saying.
Uncle Charlie, these are dudes that I admire and I respect greatly. And I'm just trying to throw my hat in the ring with all them cats, that's all.
Wow, that's a great thing. Amen. We speak live.
There are a lot of times I have conversations with people and they say things and the youth get a bad rap. But let me tell you something. The youth is the heartbeat and the pulse of this country, right? And I support their efforts for protesting all these injustices 1,000%, right? And that's why I wrote that song, Hate the Skin I'm In, and that's why I got other powerful songs coming, which I am talking about them. The youth in the front line, the Angela Rise, the Tamika Malrays, that really be speaking truth to power. And the youth are what's shaking up the country and making people talk about real positive change, right? Yeah. And I support them 1,000%, and I'm absolutely proud of this generation and their activism, you know?
Yeah.
And I think most civil rights activists would be proud, period. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get it done. You go and you protest and you give a positive message. And, you know, the days of doing this and just, you know, oh, woe is me and please help me, them days over, man. No. Listen, we need real change. And like I keep telling people, change comes through voting the right people in office.
There you go.
We have to understand how our justice system works and how the branches of government work, right? And how we get real change is through law and legislation. That's the only thing matters is law and legislation, right?
Yeah.
Not no fake training, because it ain't about no training. Every time you hear people on TV talking about training, they just trying to put a Band-Aid over something. You can't train racism. You can't train people how not to be racist and prejudiced against Black and Latino people. You can't train that. You can't train people how to cover up the Breonna Taylor situation and Sean Bell and Michael Brown and Tamir Rice. You can't train that. The only thing you can do is vote the right people in office. And that starts at the top. I'm talking about this election, right? With the presidential election, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. We, as a people, need to get control of all of that, do our due diligence, and be mindful of who we voting for, and vote the right people in office, even on the local level. You can't be talking about prison reform and you ain't voting. You can't be talking about free my homie so-and-so, right? And then when he go on his appeal, he got the wrong judge in front of him, and the judge don't move.
Yo, excuse me for something. Yo, man, you really kicking it to me right now. And, you know, listening to me, brother, you got me behind you 100%. I'm ready to fight with you. Let me ask you this. Is it brothers in the joint that is as good as you is speaking like this, brother? Or,
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
You're killing it, man. That's
Yes.
what I'm saying, man. It got the joint got to be a powerful place, man. The people in the joint, I mean, we got to get a hold of them and get them back out here because you out here now. And honestly, you saying more than me. I've been out here all this time, man. You got me, you know, you got a kung fu grip on me right now, brother. I'm ready to follow your music movement. I'm ready to follow your righteous movement. I'm ready to follow you, period, brother.
Listen, right?
Hey.
This makes simple sense to you and everybody in your listening audience, right?
Yes.
You can't be talking about free so-and-so, and then they go on their appeal, and they have the wrong judge in front of them. That's not fair and impartial, right? The only reason I'm sitting in front of y'all right now is because I had the right judges that did the right thing. You have to understand, I lost every single appeal from 1993 to 2013 because of the wrong judges did not apply the law properly and did not care about my innocence. So in order for us, when we go and vote, we got to put the right people in the House, the Senate, and we all must understand that the person that you vote for president of the United States, understand, he just don't appoint judges to the U.S. Supreme Court, right? This president has appointed over 200 judges to district court and to all federal courts. So that's over 200 judges. Now, you go look them judges up. And you see what they working with. Okay?
Right.
You see what they working with. Right? And you tell me, you come back to me and you tell me if you don't think it's important to vote. You come back to me and tell me if your family member or your friend is in prison. You talking about, oh yeah, free my man so-and-so, free sis so-and-so. Well, when she go up to that appeal and she get banged out for something she didn't do, or if she or he lose because their constitutional rights have been violated and they didn't receive a fair trial, and because their rights have been violated, they should receive a new trial, right? And they don't ask why. Don't ask why. If you're not understanding the local branches of government and how federal and state government work, you're doing your people a disservice and you're doing your community a disservice. Period, point blank.
Each one teach one, man. You really teaching tonight, my brother. You teaching us a lot tonight. By the way, is one of your judges, that judge that handled the Meek Mill's case with that lady, that black lady?
No.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have a question for the panel, particularly Jimmy and Lord. You can probably give a little bit more on this. We did a show about a month ago. Point of the matter is, what do you say for the young black male between the ages of 21 and 25 who says that voting is pointless, it's stupid, why would I waste my time voting, it's no point, it's not for me? What do you say to that, Jimmy?
Well, he has to understand what Malcolm X said. Malcolm X said every single thing that goes on in the world comes back around and is at our doorstep. And what he needs to understand is that the U.S. Supreme Court, right, they hear cases every month, every year, with issues that affect his life and his family's life. You know, Roe v. versus Wade, dealing with abortion, will be up for grabs again soon, right?
Yes.
And, you know, every single woman should have say-so over their body.
Yes.
That's their temple and their domain, no matter how you feel. It ain't for y'all to say, right? Period, point blank. So there are important issues that affect him that he don't even know about. And he and she should take the time to read and study these things, because now the information is just a click away. Like every single thing that we talked about tonight, every single thing that happened to me, all the legal opinions, everything that I'm dealing with now is just a click away. All this information that I'm talking to y'all in Big Tap about is just a click away. Y'all can look this stuff up. When I say that 200 judges have been appointed in this term to federal courts all over the country, that's fact, right? All you gotta do is go look, right? And you see what's going on with the U.S. Supreme Court right now, now that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away, and they trying to appoint another judge up there. That affects you. That affects how we live in this country. That affects different college legislation and laws that have been passed that help black people, that have been stripped down and, you know, and thrown away, never to be seen again. We have to start to understand how local government works and how government works and how important our vote is. Period.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Miss Fisher, Miss Chris Fisher, I saw some movement there when Jimmy was speaking. Did you want to go ahead and chime in, sis?
Everything he said is true, and just to throw a monkey in the ring. So the system. So, I mean, we know this is spiritual warfare. So when you look at what's going on, as far as I'm looking at it, the system. If you're a believer, there's people mix up believing and unbelieving. And if you know that you have the light in you, you know that you're a believer and you believe in God. So the system is the world. So just like how God uses us, believe me, the devil is using people too. So those who you can't see, that's pushing that system to keep that light down. To see, first it was, I talked about this morning with somebody and said, you know what, you need to begin with the word. And when God spoke, he spoke into darkness, and it didn't comprehend the light. The light took over. So when you think about us as black folks, me, I look at us as being, we have the light in us. I can't say for everybody else who ain't black, but I know for those who have a color on their skin, you have the light in you. So they are trying to suppress that light in bondage, in everything that they do. So when you look at voting, you know, yes, we have to start at the local level because you know, they had another show over in the chat where they were talking about, you know, what level you need to start voting on to get these people out of here. But when your lack of knowledge, when you don't know, you're not going to vote. When you don't know, because nobody's telling you, or we are not speaking about it to our folks. It's not just the young people, it's us old folks who don't know crap either. You know, we can't tell nobody because we don't know nothing. You know, so when we start to get, you know, it all starts with individuals. And we all know that when we say it all the time, but when you in your house, you go out, are you really doing that? You know, now that the president has coronavirus,
Can't touch this. Boom, 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 boom. The systemic plan or the spiritual plan, Chris? Okay.
so in the natural, that's the way it's supposed to go. When we first got it, I said, oh, I think we're going to get this coronavirus. There we go, they're trying to get rid of it now. So we don't know how this is going to be done.
This is going to be a very interesting ride, everybody. Rashid, what you got to say, my love?
So now we all know that the American public's main focus when it comes to voting has always been the executive branch, which is the presidential branch between the President of the United States of America. Now, it's never been on our local government or the legislative, because I don't believe we have a real say in the judicial branch, the Supreme Court and whatnot. But what we do have a say in is our legislative and our executive. Now, we the people have to use our God-given right to then make that right decision to vote in people that actually have our best interests at heart. Because, say for example, the people vote a certain way, but then your electoral college, your elected official, then decides to be swayed the other way, going against the people. So you have to know, who are your elected officials and who actually has your best interest at heart and will not be swayed to go the opposite direction of what your purpose is.
Lauren, did you want to chime in?
I do, and I want to chime in and kind of maybe just take it in another direction, because Jimmy, I could listen to you talk all night, because you just put your words together beautifully. So as you say, we need to know, right? It's about enlightenment, as you say, Chris. It is about education, as you say, Jimmy, as you practiced in your life, right?
Yeah.
So I come from a family of educators, and being an educator myself, we just see that for black and brown people, the numbers of students getting higher education, getting things like their high school diploma are dwindling. How do we inspire this upcoming generation to recognize the importance of being educated?
That's a good question. I would say that something like that starts in our community, but starts in the home. But we need to teach our kids the importance of education, and that through education, through reading, that there's nothing that they can't accomplish. That's the very foundation of who you become to being with education. Like, I never, the entire time that I was in prison, even though I was taught the music business, through my dad and from a young age and other people that I was around, I kept studying the music business the entire time I was in prison, so I would be up on all new and current laws going on, right? And so anything that you embark on, any career that you embark on, you should want to know like the back of your hand. You should want to know everything you need to know musically, and then the business side of it, whether it's radio, whether you're a carpenter, and it all starts and begins with education. You know what I mean? Some of the most successful people are educated, and that's not necessarily to say that you can't achieve anything if you aren't, but you'll have a greater foundation and understanding of getting where you want to get through education. And just let me say this right here also, there's a documentary that everybody needs to see. Ava DuVernay's documentary on Netflix called The 13th.
Oh, yes.
Everybody needs to watch that to understand how this system is and how it goes down. The other thing I want to say is there are local elections, whether they in LA, New York, DC, and in Philly, that go on all the time with judges, with district attorneys, right? And all of us should want the right people in office, whether it be judges, DA, or mayor. Like in Philly, we have a good district attorney in Philly now that's helping innocent people get out of jail. And why do you think they want him out of office? They want him out of office because he's helping innocent people get out of jail, and he's prosecuting police officers that are dirty and getting them off the police force. That's why they don't like him, right? So the game is that they're trying to get somebody that's familiar to the community that everybody know, especially the black community, right? That's the game. You gotta be able to see the hook when it's right in front of your face and not go for the okie doke. Doing the right thing. Don't go for the okie doke and go with this dude because you familiar with his name because he done helped a few people come home. No, he's doing the bidding of the people that you don't want him doing the bidding for. He's not your guy, right? And so this goes back to studying every candidate, knowing what their politics are, knowing what they really care about, and then holding them accountable. And if they don't do right by you the first time, you don't give them a second chance. You vote somebody else in, and you give them a chance. But there are things that we can affect all the time.
True. Wow. I mean, yikes. What about you, Lord?
I so agree. I so agree.
Thank you, Jimmy, so much for the time. I'm looking at the clock. We still got a little bit of train to chug on. So, Jimmy, I just wanted to say we probably got about 5 minutes left in our production time, and I just wanted to check in and just make sure again we were able to meet your standards tonight, Mr. Dennis. What'd you say? Oh, thank you. What about you, Lord? I know in preparation, because we just got a little more rapping to do.
All right, I had a beautiful time. It
I
was
know.
lovely. Thank you, Jimmy, for sharing your story. But even bigger, thank you for being such an inspiration
I know.
and such a ray of light, right? Your words are so very eloquent, and they speak so very powerful that your commitment to your community and to your fellow brethren is quite evident. And I think anyone who views this show will be able to see the impact that you are making and plan to continue to make to your community. So thank you for giving back, and thank you for sharing some of your time with us tonight.
I know. We've got those platforms where we want everybody to get, we're gonna do and skin our man again, if we can do a little outro with that. Is that okay, Rashi? But what I just wanted everyone again to be able to Spotify, iTunes, everywhere you could go to get music, this is where you need to be, my people. SoundCloud.
Everybody needs to buy this song tonight. Tonight. Go buy it.
And thanks again, I just want to say to everybody, we've got the YouTube going, we got Facebook going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jimmy Dennis. We made it back into the studio. Thank you, Rashid. Lori and I haven't been in here in 7 whole months.
7 months.
My goodness, so I'm like, we had to kick off October right, you know what I'm saying? So yes, Jimmy, this is a whole new atmosphere. We back up in here, we doing what we do, and it's like, I'm just like, ah! And to do it with you is just an honor, and it's so exciting, and your music is phenomenal, and we're just blessed and grateful. So, Rashid, let's just party out. You know, I'm OG Compton style, so I like to get my boogie on. So,
And remember, guys, vote.
Vote.
Vote. Vote. It makes a difference. Listen to Jimmy.
Yes.
It makes a difference. We have to have a voice in what happens to us and what happens in our community.
Tap. Before we go, I'm sorry about that, Rashid. Big Tap. Any parting words that you want to say to your brother King?
No, I just want to say thank you, man. I kind of, we all anticipated this night, and it was like more than we even thought it would be. So, you know, it's like, I'm in awe right now. I'm in awe. And,
Thank you, brother.
And you just killed the Jack. You just killed it right there, because that is so nice.
That shit is fire.
Jimmy, I need one commitment from you. Now, when you get that nomination for that Grammy,
I'm coming. I'm stalking.
and you cannot forget the POJ
We're gonna be on the red
show,
carpet.
so we can be on the red carpet. Okay.
Right. With the cheerleaders.
Right.
No, we was cheerleaders, so I can totally do you right.
Not with the palm.
Yes,
Like, "Rah,
we'll be there.
give me a J.
Watch out, Jimmy. I clean up pretty good. I can clean up pretty good. I look good on the carpet.
You guys are
Well,
wild.
thank you so much. We enjoyed you. It was a great show. Chris, thank you for coming, hanging out with us.
Mrs.
As always.
Fisher.
Great.
I'll be seeing you on those tracks coming soon, Chris.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
No
Bravo.
problem.
And so let's hear Skin I'm In.
I know, this is fire. That's fire. I love it. Oh my God. This is fire, everybody.
I'm one of the people
There
who
you go.
built the country.
That's James.
Until this moment, there is scarcely any hope for the American dream. Because the people who are denied participation in it, by their very presence,
Listen to that jockey. Remind me of jockey.
You wish to stay in the throne back then state. Change disarms you of your privilege. You fear me even when I don't seek to harm you. 'Cause you hate to
want some more? Stop recording. Yeah.
Honey, your stop works different on yours. Okay.
That
Keep
is
saying
bomb right
Love you guys,
there.
Facebook. We did it
that.
tonight.
All right.
I love you
That
guys.
part, that part.
Maggie Meg, deuces.
I'm staying out in the middle of the
Okay,
night on the
we're
camera.
out. Okay,
We're
well,
out.
We're out, guys.
All right, love you guys. Have a good night.
Have a good
Thank you,
night.
Jimmy.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you offline. Night, night. Let's do it. All righty. We did what we were supposed to do, guys. We had a great show, right? Isn't that amazing? Score. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
y'all.
much. God bless
That
you.
thing was, that, it was off the chain.
Bravo.
Oh, man, thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Yes, we did a great time. Great time. We did a great show. We had a great following. Hey, thanks. Say thank you, YouTube. Love y'all.
You still here?